Ash, are you kidding? This thing bled acid. Who knows what it's gonna do when it's dead?
I think it's safe to assume it isn't a zombie.
This son of a bitch is huge. I mean, it's like a man. It's big.
Hello, this is Glitch in the Algorithm. I am Glitch, and today we're talking to you about the 1979 film Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. I picked out 5 of some of the coolest facts about this film. It was really hard to pick because there's a lot of really cool things to learn about this film, but I only picked 5 because I have one special one at the end. If you stay tuned, you'll find out why this movie is probably more relevant today than ever before. So, here we go. The stink, oh good lord, the stink of this film.
God damn, it's stinking here.
I often wonder how much time the actors actually had to endure the stink of this film.
He shit everywhere!
Because, it's pretty, ruthless, some of this shit that we're about to talk about here. We're gonna paint you a picture of the stink in just a second here.
Look what he did! He shit all over the wall!
So, in this movie, they come across a giant alien ship, and inside this ship, the camera pans to Kane walking around, and he's inspecting all this crazy scenery of this ship, and he stumbles across all these alien eggs just chilling on the floor, okay? And you get a look inside of one of these alien eggs, and it looks outright disgusting. Like, really gross. And for good reason, because they actually used the hearts and stomachs of cattle, and for the face hugger that flies out and attaches to Kane's face is actually the intestine of a sheep. Next, when they get out of this ship and they're all freaking out and they gotta get Kane inside this ship, they're trying to get Kane inside and they don't want to bring Kane inside, and there's this whole ordeal.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
Could you open the goddamn hatch? We have to get him inside.
No.
What? You playing with my emotions? You heard? What the fuck? Son of a bitch!
They finally get him inside and they gotta get this face hugger off his face. And when they do, and they start inspecting that thing, you get to see the inside of that, and that also looks hideous. For good reason. For that, they actually use oysters, some other shellfish, and again, the kidney of a sheep now. Poor sheep, man. I hope they only used one sheep for that.
1 gorilla, 2 gorillas. Big deal.
Now, to the android of this film, which is pretty much a spoiler. And, did I warn you about that? Whoops. There's a spoiler. And, Ash in the film, you actually find out later that he's an android.
It's a robot. Ash is a goddamn robot.
And he starts wigging out and going fucking crazy and tries to kill Ripley. And then they end up chopping his head off and he starts dying. And you get to see the inside of this android and like it's crazy juices everywhere. And for this they actually used a lot of thin tubing. They used some glass marbles and, believe it or not, milk. Yes, milk. The stuff that makes your bones strong, everybody. If you want to be big and strong, drink some fucking milk.
Drink your milk, kids.
I don't want milk. Milk's for babies.
Oh yeah? Well, I happen to know that milk helps build strong bones. So drink up.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Oh, that's not good.
So, with this, Ridley was actually really proud of Ian, apparently, because he didn't like the taste of milk. That's kind of crazy that he had to be the guy to endure all these crazy things. But anyways, so that is the stink.
I don't see a goddamn thing funny.
And poor Kane, dude. So Kane gets fucked with his face hugger that attaches to his face. And then they end up getting this thing off and basically resuscitating him or nursing him back to health. Or so they think. Because later, they're at the dinner table, you know, eating, bullshitting, what have you. And all of a sudden, it looks like he starts choking or having trouble breathing or something's going on, and he starts wigging out and falls back on the table, and everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. And all of a sudden, that alien bursts out of his chest, and then everybody's freaking out even more. So the crazy thing about this scene is that nobody told anybody that this was going to happen. So the reactions that you get on everybody's face are as genuine as it gets, man. And it's actually pretty funny because Yaphet Kotto, the guy who plays Parker, apparently he got so pissed off, so upset that after that scene, he just trudged straight into his room and didn't talk to anybody. Man, I feel sorry for that guy. Alright folks, shit's really starting to get saucy now. And this ain't the sauce that you want to be dipping your corn dogs into. Oh no, dude.
Get the corn dogs?
This is the secret sauce of the alien.
My sauce!
You see, Dan O'Bannon had one giant problem with the script, and that one giant problem was, how come the crew members of the Nostromo don't just grab their guns and shoot this alien to death? And then there you go, that'll be the end of the whole flick. Well, this is where Ron Cobb comes in. The great and powerful Ron Cobb, he's a great sci-fi designer. He's like, well, what if their blood was acid?
God. That crap's gonna eat through the hull.
Amazing. Amazing. Because if they would have ripped that alien to pieces with their ammo, the secret sauce would just rip through that ship and, well, they would be no more. So, great job, Ron Cobb. That is fucking saucy. The year is 1979. Opening day at the Egyptian. I love that name for a theater, by the way. And for all you other theaters out there, you should really take note of this one. Because the fans really got treated to this opening day. You walk into this theater and you get to see a lot of the actual props from the movie. Oh yeah. First you get to walk by a bunch of the eggs that Kane got fucked by. Poor Kane, dude. Then, after that, you get to see full fucking size version of the space jockey in all its glory. And then, once you manage to get out of that hypnotism, you get to go through an actual corridor of the Nostromo that leads you into the screening. And before you exit, you go through the mother's chamber, out of all places. That is amazing, my friends. Going back to the space jockey, though, that is something crazy in itself, because I think 2 days later, it got lit on fire from a bunch of religious zealots that found out about it. They were like, this is the work of the devil. I kick ass for the Lord.
This calls for divine intervention.
You know, come on, man. It's just a movie. It's a movie. Just let it be, man. Let people have fun. I wish. Rest in peace, Space Jockey. Thank you very much, H.R. Geiger, for that design. Your other designs are kind of weird, but that and the Xenomorphs, amazing. Thank you. And, again, I really hope somebody takes note of this, and I get to see this in my lifetime. Please. Please? Alright, folks. The moment you've been waiting for. Why this movie is more relevant today than any other day. Before it, or after it, or into it, or out of it. What am I saying? I don't know. Just like, I don't really know which story is true. This gets kind of complicated, you see. Just like the prior statement that flew out of my mouth. Anyways, we're going to go through those right now. And first off, Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett? Shusett? I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that god-awful name. Anyways, these two decided that they would make a clause in the script saying that all the characters would be unisex, which would get rid of all the preconceptions of gender roles and all the limitations that that would have on it. Which you all know there would be fucking some crazy shit going on over all that garbage. This would also make sense because the characters refer to each other by their surnames throughout the whole film, and you don't actually get to hear their real names till Aliens, I believe. So there's that one. Okay. Now, in another version of this, there was Dan O'Bannon's script written with Ronald Shusett, and it was written to originally have Ripley played by a man, and then the producers, Walter Hill and David Giller, came, and they decided to put feminist aspects in the movie, making Sigourney Weaver play Ripley, and putting a bunch of other stuff that you don't really get in Dan O'Bannon's script. So there's that one. And then another version, yet another version, oh yes, where Ridley Scott himself said that somebody, I forgot his name, but somebody from 20th Century Fox says, like, what if we use a woman? And then Ridley Scott thought about it for a minute and then decided, yeah, you know what, let's go with that. So I don't know, there's three different things that happened, but what I do believe is that, like, out of all of those and what you want to make of all that, there's a couple things that are true no matter what, and I think that they didn't want to have a lone survivor female in this film at first, because it was just like a trope going on. Like, they had Laurie, who played in Halloween, as the last female in that movie, and there were other females in horror movies at the time coming out that were just lone survivor females, and they didn't want to do that. I think that is true, but either way, you get a really strong female role in this movie, and I don't think it was really forced, and nobody cared. The coolest thing about this is that nobody fucking cared, dude. Nobody cared that this character was played by a woman. She was just so good. She was a strong role and a strong leader character, and nobody really cared. The character was so good that it didn't even matter. It wasn't about having a male or female play it, or there has to be a female who plays it. One of those stories that I just told you before kind of has those implications inside of it, but I mean, the character was so good that nobody really cared. Nobody raised hell about it. Nobody gave a fuck. So there's that. I mean, does anybody really know how this really came about? I don't know. It's kind of weird that there's all these different stories online. I'd like to know what the true one is. Either way, Alien was an amazing movie. It's still amazing today, holds up. I think it won an award for its effects in 1980, and rightly so. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. So if you like this video, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to like this video and subscribe, because oh yes, I will be coming out with more stuff. More and more and more and more and more.